you're getting a check charging system error on your Ford, I have a 2014 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor unit with a 3.7 liter. It's probably your alternator, and I'm going to show you how to get that off of there where you don't have to pay somebody $1,000 or more. So the first thing I did, because I'm short, is remove the push bar there, because I was having to lean over several feet and that kind of hurts my bad back. Disconnect your negative terminal, because electricity could be dangerous. Then we're going to remove this air box here. You're going to unscrew these two clamps right here, not all the way, just loose enough. There's going to be this mass airflow sensor here that's going to just plug in there. It's going to have two screws, and I'll show you the next step on getting that out. So right here in front of the battery, there are going to be two bolts right here holding this air box down. There should be an 8mm, and just take those out, and this should pop right off. You're going to want to take these hoses right here off. They just kind of pop off. There was another one right here that does the same thing. Remove the hose from the throttle body. Should just pop right off. There are two brackets right here holding the cabin filter in place, and that should just lift right off there fairly easily. And then you have your cabin filter down here, and since we removed those two bolts, this has two little push pins that you'll just have to kind of use a little force to get out. Okay, so once you have your air box out, there are going to be two 8mm bolts on either side here holding the radiator cooling fan in place, and they're fairly easy to get off. So just unscrew those. And I almost forgot, this radiator hose is going to be in your way to get this alternator out, unless you're wanting to take the compressor off from the bottom, which is a lot more work. So you're going to unscrew this hose clamp here, not all the way, just enough where you can slide this off, and you're going to lose a little bit of coolant, so have a catch pin underneath, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, and to actually get this fan mechanism out, there are going to be two electrical connectors on the bottom half that you can't see, obviously, because they're back here. They're going to be push pin style, so you're going to have to squeeze those and pull those out. So I got it pulled out, and I couldn't reach my fat little fingers up underneath to unplug this one. But as you see, it's just one of those kind of connectors right there, and just unplugs pretty easily if you can get both hands around it. So now you can kind of see, here's my alternator, and this is the only way I'd be able to actually get this thing out unless I went from the bottom and removed the compressor and all that crap, and I really don't feel like doing that. Dual power left in the system. The first thing you'll do is this B positive stud on the alternator, 13mm in my case. So just break that free, and you should be able to just get it off with finger turning after this. Okay, and on the top left side of the alternator where that wrench is connected, it's a 15mm, and I'm using a ratcheting wrench because it'd just be kind of hard to get a socket in there. You can see the stud sticking out. It has a bolt on it as well, but they both have to come out, so we're going to get the bolt off of there first. My bad, nut. I didn't mean bolt on that. Okay, and you obviously have to get your serpentine belt off to get your alternator off. Right here is your belt tensioner, and there's a 3/8 drive square hole there. I can't reach it because the frame's in the way, but there's also another on the bottom here, so I've had to remove the wheel to get to that, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm not going to be able to show you, but right there where that square hole's at, I'm going to put this ratchet in there and turn it clockwise, and it's going to release the tension where I can slide that belt off. Okay, and as you see, I got the serpentine belt slid off. It's a lot easier to slide off right there on the idler pulley, because the rest of them, like the crank pulley, have lips right there, and you just wouldn't be able to do it very easily. And I know it's hard to see, but there's a 15mm stud bolt like that that's in the back side of the alternator. If you can feel it, you can get a ratcheting wrench on there and get that off a lot easier than you can, because a deep socket won't fit. There's not enough space. Okay, so everything's unbolted, and as you can see, I took out the radiator fans here so I can get this out, and sometimes they're kind of stuck in there, but once you get it wiggled free, kind of heavy, but you can get it out through the top, no matter what any mechanic tells you. Stop it. And I went ahead and went to O'Reilly's and had the alternator bench tested. It tested fine, but it's not sending signal to the PCM in the car. And the way I figured that out was back probing the harness on there, and it wasn't getting anything. So we're gonna put this new one in and see what happens. Okay, so about 2 hours later, I've got the other one in. I can see why they charge so much to do these jobs now, because you can't really see what you're doing. So I advise to get one of these handy little inspection mirrors so you can see if this inspection mirror, I can see that stud bolt right there, and I couldn't from the top to line it up properly, but this really helped. Then after that, you just put everything back in, kind of reverse order you took it out. So I'm gonna put the fan back in, air box, reconnect all the connectors, and we will see if it's still giving me that check charging code. So yeah, that took way longer than I anticipated, but the alternator was in the bottom of the motor. So yeah, I'm getting 14.5 volts at the battery now, and the dealership said it would be about $1,200 to $2,000 to fix that. I got a salvage alternator for like $80. It tested fine, it works fine. So if you're mechanically inclined and your Ford says check charging system, that's probably what it is. Don't forget to reset the battery management system when you get in. You turn the key to the on position. I would show you this, but I already did it. You turn the key to the on position, flash your bright lights 5 times, and then press and depress your brake pedal 3 times. Wait about 10 seconds and it should reset itself.